saw that ever again. So hopefully, even though he got not even, I wouldn't even say she was nerfed, she was just reverted to her base state. We never see Fanny, and thank goodness we won't. But we also won't see the Suyo or the Zhu Xin. Of course, Ranger, Matilda, Hilda banned out by Team Liquid PH. That means that the primary option for jungle is Joy.
It looks like RRQ Hoshi has some kind of plan here, banning out Suyo and Zhu Xin. Means you're very obviously telling the opponent to grab Joy here. They can definitely go for like Harif, which, yep, that's going to be a lock-in here. But I feel like Joy is a very dangerous opponent to let through. Even if Phoveus matches up pretty okay against her, she's still isn't someone I would consider letting through the ban phase if you're not planning to grab Suyo to match up to her.
I do wonder if RQ Hoshi are going to have more of an answer, right? Again, we talk about when we talk about their coach, we got Kescute on their end. Remember the series when they fought against SRG in M6? Even though SRG came out on top, RQ Hoshi showed some genuine innovation, right? Like Rinz's Kadita, where he showed twice in the M6 series, once during Swiss and once during knockouts. Both had both won, so he technically had a 100% win rate on his Kadita. And see if that's going to be the case, because Lucas and Moskov, they both went through for Liquid PH.
Lucas has been up and down so far. Some players have not been able to make him work as well, but we've also seen just how powerful he can be with the right items and the right team composition. Kirk was an absolute terror on it. Moskov, not too bad a matchup against Harif, but definitely still not going to have the best time in lane. And then the Alpha comes out in the jungle for RRQ. Not the biggest fan of this. I feel like Alpha just straight up has trouble against Joy.
Oh yeah. At least it's RQ Hoshi. I mean, we've seen Sujin. He also has a couple of tricks up his sleeve, Fredrin being one of them. This Alpha should do well in these extended fights, you know, against Lucas if it ever comes down to that. Start banning out the Loi first in that second phase. You know, last season when Team Liquid Philippines played in the challenge seasons with Benny, that time we Benny in the gold lane, I remember they went through the longest road to get to the challenge finals, essentially playing full series and having to play LCQ as well. And they were dropping games to AI Esports at that time, and Carl TZ did say that the assassin meta was a bit uncomfortable for him. A long time has passed since then, so it'll be interesting to see how far he has come as a player using assassins.
Yeah, I don't really think I've seen much of Carl TZ playing Joy before, so that is going to be a joy to watch. They do decide to ban the Belleric in the end. That is a classic Joy counter, but similarly, the Tigreal going to be let through, and RQ immediately snatching it up. Liquid also drafting very quickly, going for the high-lows here, so that is likely going to be a high-lows roam matching up against Tigreal. Will be able to provide a good amount of vision alongside him.
Who is going to be in that mid lane, right? We still got the Vex, we still got the Aurora, we still got the Veil. I mean, we've seen Veil every now and then. If it comes down to that, Sicilian still up on the table as well. Both teams missing their mid laner. The Aurora would be the option for Liquid Philippines. I think one of the things that they struggled to adapt, I think almost a year ago was, during the second half of last year, was the fact that the changes to Lord dances, right? Where Lord just keep hitting harder every single passing second, and that's something that Liquid Philippines have struggled. Again, time has passed. We've seen the improvement in the MPLPH Season 14. They just didn't make it as far as a lot of people thought they would. So season last pick for RQ Hoshi. Stage is set. I'm excited to see what this version of Team Liquid PH has in store for us.
Yeah, Team Liquid PH has just a very honest draft, right? Hylos and Lucas both hold the front line incredibly well. Then they have the Aurora to stop heroes like the Phoveus and Alpha from diving in and creating space for Moskov and Joy to come in a little bit later. RQ going for Harif and Sicilian means that they're very heavily focused on magic damage towards the later stages of the game. Phoveus and Alpha both lean more into the mid-game stages, so if we get too late in, Liquid are able to maybe itemize a little bit more efficiently against them.
It's going to be pretty interesting. I think Even for Liquid Philippines, I agree. I feel like this draft is a bit more all-rounded compared to what RRQ Hoshi has in store. And heavy emphasis on that magic damage, but we all know magic damage in that late game has so much value despite tank items existing. So game 1 is going to kick off right now. We got Liquid Philippines on that blue side and RRQ Hoshi on red.
Two titanic teams on the Land of Dawn right now. RQ performing respectively in the recent M6 World Championship. Team Liquid having difficulty adjusting to the new meta and not making it onto the world stage. Now eager to prove themselves with KarlTzy playing on a very mechanical assassin jungler. This is going to be a fun one, folks.
It's going to secure the Little Wanderer for sure. Susujin was delayed a little bit thanks to Sanji and JP doing kind of one of the legwork in the early game. Oh, Toy actually got the gold crab, so that's an extra bonus for the Harif.
Toy is going to have a good time. You know, Harif does win out the lane against Moskov. YukiTZ is just going to try and play this safe here. And we can see a good amount of focus towards Toy's lane as well to try and make sure that he's not ganked so that he can continue winning out that lane and getting as much gold shield as possible. A lot of Team Liquid actually rotating up into the top half of the map instead.
Susujin is going to show himself, but that will be spotted too. In fact, Liquid Philippines always at the scene just slightly earlier compared to RQ Hoshi, so that crab will be easily secured, I believe, by KarlTzy. In a way that, see that first turtle, how is it going to be? Seems like we are going to have the turtle on the top side, looking at the current. Of course, the supports want to hit level 4, but it will not be possible for now. Dyron does hit 4 first.
Yeah, we're seeing Edok and JP spend a lot of time in the river, so they're not really able to get EXP from the minions, and now
Sanford transforms and gets control just for a while, but the amount of damage he's outputting, even this early on, is a bit ridiculous. He ends up going down first blood for Dyron, but Turtle will be secured by RRQ Hoshi.
They trade EXP for EXP, but because Susujin got the turtle, it ends up being a slight win for RRQ here. Ended up being a very messy team fight, unfortunately, and despite it being very early on in the game, Rins actually managed to do a lot of damage in that previous fight because he wasn't being targeted. Now JP being punished for trying to invade RQ's jungle.
Yeah, trying to walk in before Sanji was even there. Just control all the true damage, just too much. And because Dyron got the first blood, he's able to capitalize on a bit of that extra go, and Sanford is just taking a beating. Meanwhile, Sanji forced to use his ultimate to get away. KarlTzy jumps on top of Rins, wouldn't be able to get the kill anyways. So Dyron basically controls the lane now.
Having lane priority in both EXP and gold means that RQ are going to be able to rotate the map a lot more freely. As long as Zyron and Toy make sure that they're kept aware of where KarlTzy is going to be on the map, it's going to be a lot easier for RQ to start invading, going for lane ganks, getting more farm across the map, and just generally trying to out-farm Team Liquid PH.
Oh yeah. Even right now, I mean, Toy has been doing a fantastic job. KarlTzy this time will get the gold crab for himself. Haven't been able to see him get too proactive with how RQ Hoshi has been kind of a one step ahead, at least when it comes to the objective fights. Not to mention, we established that the lane priority does go over to them. Turtle spawning in 10 seconds on the top side.
I think it's fine for KarlTzy to not really go for anything too early on, because Joy actually is more of a late game scaling type jungler. You really start popping off when you get that Holy Crystal typing, then to the Blood Wings to invade a little bit more easily. So as long as they don't fall too behind in terms of gold, Team Liquid is totally fine. Oh.
Yo, throw his pathway, JP wants to look for a kill. Frigid Glacier committed. Susujin completely frozen in place. Commits his Spell of Alphas to still get the turtle for himself before he goes down. And there's always the price to pay if you want to contest RRQ Hoshi. At the end of the day, it's a 1-for-1 trade, but Turtle once more for RRQ Hoshi.
Susujin was CC'd for such a long time there. I thought for sure that he would just try to get out, but instead committing his ult in, basically throwing his life away to get that turtle is such a gutsy move, and I am a huge fan RRQ able to get a little bit of a lead from that, but losing their jungler is also not the most ideal because Sujin relies a little bit more on early game snowball in comparison to KarlTzy. And despite their win so far, RRQ actually hasn't built up that much of a gold lead, so Liquid are still totally fine.
Oh. And not to mention that RRQ Hoshi, they haven't hit that power spike yet, right, in terms of the damage output. So they have a lot of control, sure, but Rinse this time and Toy not really there to join his team for now. So the attention shifts to the bottom side of the map and play to the winning side if you are RRQ Hoshi. But Team Liquid Philippines, they are willing to rotate Sanford just to match the rotation.
I think they have to just match the rotation right now. RRQ going to be quite the aggressive lineup overall. Looking at the itemization, most people are going to be completing their first. I don't think there's anything too unusual in the item choices. Yeah, it's all pretty standard right now. Both teams going to be playing this a little bit slowly because neither side really has the outright stronger early game comp. So they're just going to be focusing on getting that farm up and contesting objectives instead.
It's going to be third one on the top side. Concealed very early by E-Dog. Take away space, finds the two-man implosion into a Spear of Alpha and a Secret Hammer push. That's the full combo from RRQ Hoshi. He gets Sanji first, Sanford joins the fight, taken down by Dyron. He continues to go. And that is the team fight for RRQ Hoshi, finding 3 kills and a guaranteed turtle.
Wow. I have no reason to believe that E-Dog knew someone was in that bush. He just committed to it and found 2. And the combo was perfect as well, delaying the Sacred Hammer after the Spear of Alpha so that it wouldn't end up canceling each other out. And setting up for a beautiful objective take. KarlTzy gonna find a bit of revenge here, picking up Dyron in the mid lane. RQ not quite able to get to mid tier 1.
Yeah, Dyron just too far forward, overcommitted. So it's a bit of punish. Even though, I mean, throughout all that, Liquid Philippines, they're not too far behind, right? It's just a 1k gold lead for RRQ Hoshi, but look at this great combo.
Really good follow-up from the entire team right into the glorious pathway from JP, trying to see if we can get them out, but they're just infinitely CC'd. You'd think that Sanji would be able to escape. Nope, he gets caught out as well, despite committing the flicker, and then RRQ would just take over the fight from that point onwards. They do end up giving some space to TZ though, so the Moskov actually got a free tier 1 tower down bottom. Because of small things like this, Liquid still actually not that far behind in farm.
Yeah, not to mention that, at least for RRQ Hoshi, they were able to get Toy into the fight, so he kind of now 2-0. E-Dog, not the best target to go on. Another implosion. And once more, RRQ Hoshi willing to take the fight. The Frigid Glacier not doing too much. They lost JP already. KarlTzy dances in the backline, but now it's going to be Toy chasing him down with the Chrono Dash. KarlTzy gets away, and Sanford assassinates Dyron.
Ooh.
Sanji loses his passive. Susujin goes for him and finds his mark. RRQ Hoshi walks away with 2 kills.
Yeah, I think Liquid needs to be very careful about engaging on E-Dog. It's fine to try and pick up the Tigreal first, but you cannot, like, surround him and hope that that works, because you're just going to be caught by the implosion. But I think the real MVP of that fight was Dyron for sure, because this Phobius was 1v3ing 3 members of Liquid in the backline for a long time, which allowed RRQ to slowly take care of the tankier members and slowly push forward in the river.
Queen's Wings for Susujin and Holy Crystal for KarlTzy. So again, key items, that's the KarlTzy Joy Power Spike, Holy Crystal online. 9 minutes into the game, just in time for the first Lord fight. But we've seen how much crowd control and damage RRQ Hoshi has. And all this while Rinse is just stacking up. Dyron is in the backline, isolated from the rest of his team. RRQ Hoshi wants the Lord, will find it. Spear of Destruction does connect. TZ not joining the fight just yet. KarlTzy forced away. RRQ Hoshi makes the call to pick off Sanford, and Team Liquid Philippines will exchange that bottom tier 2.
And Sanford unfortunately biting the bullet a lot in these team fights, and JP just being taken out slowly. The final bat impact from Rins. This is Cecilion stacking up very well. Just completed the Wishing Lantern as well. KarlTzy tried to time his entrance to get the Retry in, but Edok specifically saved that implosion to stop him so that Susujin could get it for free. So you can see that RRQ Hoshi definitely feels very comfortable together. Still, the synergy, very clean, very present. But in the bot lane,
Oh, Toy just got his Holy Crystal, so he's willing to fight this. Crowd TZ seems to be losing the fight. Mid-side Susujin, there's a 3-man Frigid Glacier from Sanji. So unfortunately, Dairon is gonna fall. Rince makes his way out to safety. Spell Destruction does miss. So at the end of the day, the Team Liquid Philippines defended their base.
a bit of overconfidence from RRQ there. They're very good at team fighting, but when they're scattered, Liquid can take advantage of that. They knew that Toy and Edok were both at the bot lane dealing with Carl TZ, so they knew that they could immediately engage on 3 members of RRQ in the mid lane with a numbers advantage. And unfortunately, I think RRQ were just a little bit too far forward without their full team behind them, especially without Edok. It's a little risky to go for that. So they got punished there. That worth difference actually still very, very small. Only 1k in favor of RRQ. So they genuinely have to be a little bit concerned. We're going to start seeing heroes like Alpha drop off pretty soon.
And not to mention they're fighting underneath the turret as well. JP getting caught. Frigid Glacier only freezing Susujin in place. So that's 2 big ultimates from Liquid Philippines. But at least for now, there's no major objective to be contested. You'll be back up for the next Lord in 50 seconds. We're back to a stalemate where you have your TZ split pushing lanes and then Toy trying to match it. Carl TZ trying to find a backline, but finds it very hard to do so.
Liquid does have pretty good split push potential though. I think Yuk TZ has been doing a very good job of that. The entire bot lane of towers is gone because RQ does need to fight together pretty heavily. Looking at the itemization, there's 3 Radiant Armors on the side of RRQ specifically, trying to build up stacks on the high-low so that they can defend a little bit easier against Joy and Aurora. Wishing Lantern and Holy Crystal already completed earlier for Rince as well as Toy. On the opposite side, Trinity finished by Yukizi, actually going for a Rose Gold Meteor as a 4th item, so it's safer for him to join team fights.
Rose Gold Meteor and probably wonder if you go for Malefic Gun as the final item. It does give him a bit more range to deal with RQ Hoshi, who wants to be in his face. Conceal, JP instantly found out. RQ Hoshi turns on the JP, wants to get away, gets pulled away by the segment clause, survive barely. Edok shows up, his own conceal, 2-man explosion, pulls them all in to his team, and RQ Hoshi commits to it. Susujin to the back, takes out Sanji. JP falls. Toy assassinated by Yuktizi, but they both trade lives, and at the end is RQ Hoshi who comes out on top with 4 kills, a double for Dairon.
Edok is really standing out this game on this Tigreal. The implosions have been pretty hit or miss throughout the day, but Edok has been clean every single time. And that is just what you can achieve if you delay these big teamfight ultimates a little later into the fight when the enemy team has already stopped thinking about it. Sanford almost off. He is taken out. Killer free for Dairon. Wipeout for RRQ. Sanji and JP will respawn in time to defend the tower, but not to stop Susujin from getting the Lord.
And RQ Hoshi finally got... This is, of course, their biggest goal lead in this game. Just 4,000. We saw the... we even saw the potential of that 1v1 between both the Moskov and the Harif. Actually closer than I expected. Moskov put up a pretty good fight. So now it's about the Lord defense, and honestly, Liquid Philippines have pretty good base defense.
Yeah, their base defense is not bad at all. With like Hylos and Aurora, they're pretty good at dealing with rundown sieges. But RQ also has very strong artillery in the form of Rince that'll slowly try to whittle down from afar. Conceal play comes out.
Yeah, Edo is so active. He's always looking for opportunities. Been a top wave cleared up. The bottom one is left. But Sanji, he's caught! Pulled back by the Dark Wave. And without the Aurora, the anti-siege potential has just dipped. Susujin misses the Spear of Alpha, but it's all about the base. RQ Hoshi is slowly trying to strangle Team Liquid Philippines in their own base. A full engage Susujin in the midst of things, but led by Dairon and Edok. And this time, it is just too much for Liquid Philippines to deal with. Yuktizi gets blasted by the Harif. Game 1 for RRQ Hoshi.
The Kings of Kings turning Team Liquid into puddles on the floor as they are melted down one by one by the